Yeah. If we're gonna be telling stories, we gotta be recording. We gotta capture that. So, and I really would like to talk more. Like, if you're down to do like just talk about hunting sometime, let's share stories and
got a few.
You do have a few. You've been a killer lately. I mean, always you've always been a killer. But all right, tell me the story.
Well, in 2011 was the first limited entry archery tag that I had in Utah, and it was an elk tag, and it was for Boulder at the time.
You had a Boulder tag?
I had a Boulder archery tag. It was my first one, and my dad, we put in together, and I had like 4 points, and he had like 7. And we put in together.
You drew with 4 points?
So 2011, it was a little bit easier to
true.
draw. That's 11
archery,
years ago.
Right?
Yeah, archery.
Yeah, I guess that's true because back then it was like everybody always was like 5 was always the magic number. If you got 5, you're kind of in the running for archery for most units.
At the time, I didn't know. I served my 2-year church mission, and I got home June 23rd.
Wait, you got home for your mission in 2011?
In 2011.
You are a baby. Are you kidding me?
Just turned 32.
Did you? Oh man, dude, you are a baby.
So really, I mean, when it comes to hunting elk, that was really my first really good go. I'd done the spike and the cow stuff that you could do over the counter in the limited entry units prior to going to Mexico, but it was.
But it's not really elk hunting until you can call. You have something that branch antler bull coming in. Yeah,
right. So that was the first real get into it, and I got home at the end of June. It was June 23rd. I got home. I had gotten results. My dad told me in an email, "Hey, we got an elk tags for going to the premier unit
the
in
best
the
unit
state
in the state." Well, then
that's what you had thought. Shoot, the firebull was still alive then. Probably only by a year or two.
That's right.
It was about that time he was killed. He was on the mountain when I was hunting. So
that's crazy.
Maybe I passed him. Maybe he was a little too small.
You passed up on him. He wasn't that big.
Yeah, exactly. No, at the time, being the first time, man, I wanted something good. I did pass up a couple good bulls and looking for something special because I had uncles that had shot some pretty good bulls, and I was dreaming. Yeah. But getting home late in June, I didn't have a vehicle. I didn't have a truck. I didn't have a bow. I sold everything. I did.
Oh, you didn't have a bow?
I didn't have a bow. I got home and I went and I bought. It was the Diamond Deadeye from Sportsman's Warehouse.
Yeah, Sportsman's Warehouse.
It's what I could afford. It was like $600 at the time.
Yeah.
And I got my sight and I got everything I needed to shoot, and I had been shooting since I was little.
Right.
When it comes to archery, my dad he was a great teacher and mentor. And
really?
Yeah. He's he shoots all the time. When I was little, we had moved from southern Utah.
Where did you grow up? I don't even know where you grew up at.
So we were born here. I was born in St. George. My family's all from Hurricane.
Okay.
All from Hurricane.
We'll forgive you for that.
Yeah. I moved to heaven when I married my wife and moved up here to Enterprise. But we ended up moving actually to Idaho. And the archery clubs here in southern Utah have there's a couple good clubs and there's some things they do, but not a lot of shoots and competition.
Right. Yeah, that's like in Colorado, I was doing competitions. We were doing 3D shoots all the time.
Yeah.
Here, there's not
a ton. You have to travel.
Yeah, you really do. You have to travel.
If you're going to do them, there's a couple good clubs in Nevada that we've traveled and done lately. And
doesn't Hurricane have a good club though? I mean,
they do.
Like they have a 3D course down there and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's always set up down there, and they've got a membership, and it's a yearly membership, and they got a nice course that you can go and practice on all the time, or go walk the bells and shoot the bells, or shoot some 3D that's there all the time. But like it's just not competitive.
Right.
We moved to Eagle, Idaho. My dad started he was a roofing contractor, had a company here, started it, passed it on to his brother, and we moved up to Idaho.
So that's how how Stout Roofing. Okay, I got you.
Yeah. So we moved up there, and man, Idaho has some awesome clubs. They have great shoots. And I was 9 at the time, probably when we moved to Idaho. And that's about the time my dad picked me up a bow. He says, there's some clubs up here we can start shooting 3D. And my dad even traveled, and there was a club out of Cedar City that's been here forever.
Oh, really?
And it's Atzquo Archery Club. They're still going now.
About that. Oh,
they They do it. They're supposed to do a shoot, I think, about every month. But there's been right now they're switching presidencies and trying to.
Do they have
organized.
a 3D course over there?
So they have a lower range, but it's not 3D. I don't think. I think it's just bales and stuff. It's going up Cedar Canyon.
Okay.
But you can stop and shoot there. But man, when we were in Idaho, I was 9, 10 years old. My dad was coaching me all the time. I remember I had target panic.
Oh,
Like
really?
I created target panic when I was 10, 11 years old, and I would bring my finger around and I would just, my dad let it go for a couple of years.
Yeah.
I would just bring my trigger finger around and bam, I would slam
wouldn't
it.
even squeeze.
It would actually be, I would slowly bring it around thinking I was getting there. My dad would be like, touch the trigger.
Let
and
that
it's doing this. And I just, it's there, boom. And I'd hammer that thing.
Yeah. I still do that from time to time. So
yeah, you get excited when
Oh,
that
man.
happens. But yeah, and then eventually, man, we were shooting. I was actually winning, the Pee Wee course and everything. I was like, I want to shoot the Cub course, and I would shoot the older course. And there was a Children's Miracle Network shoot back then that they did, and it's funny because my parents have the picture. I'm standing on the podium. I had won first place.
Really?
I was like 10 years old, and I shot against the 18-year-olds, and I'm this little kid, and I'm holding first place trophy.
No
I got these guys
way!
towering over me at 15, 16, and I was like,
Yeah, I bet
that's
they were
what
so
hooked
mad.
me. Yeah, and well, they were smiling on the podium, but I'm sure there was a little bit of a grudge there.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And I just hammering the trigger, everything else, I had a lot more potential, and my dad's like, I was shooting. It was this time we moved down to, we went to an Elko shoot. We had moved to Nevada. We get to the shoot over there, and my dad's like, "Okay, it's time. You need to get over this."
Yeah.
And man, it took me. I would start bringing it. He says, "Touch the trigger. Touch the trigger.
Touch it.
Just
bring it
get
back
on.
and
Get your finger on the trigger.
touch.
As soon as you get to full draw, get your finger on the trigger." And
That's so like that probably makes your heart go crazy because once you touch it, you're like, okay, now it's time to go.
Yeah, exactly.
So
exactly when you create target panic, some people can't even get their pins on the side
Right.
on what they're shooting at. Their fingers, they see the animal, they're bringing their pins up, and bow just goes off.
Yep.
And for me, I got my finger on the trigger, and it was just that. As soon as my pin was touching the animal, it was boom. It was I was punching it, and my dad's like, "Okay, you got to get over. Get on.
So
Get
if you're
your
gonna
finger on
compete,
it.
you got to get past
Yeah,
that.
you got to get over it." And so it brought me to tears that shoot because I was missing targets. I was hitting everywhere. I couldn't shoot. It was all mental.
Yep.
And he says, "You got to get over this."
Yep.
And so I was crying. I was in Elko, and at this time I was probably 13, 14 years old.
Oh, okay. So this wasn't when you were 9 or 10.
No. He says, "You've won a few shoots punching and stuff and doing this. It's like, it's time you learn to shoot and you get this down. Because if you continue this is going to be really hard." And he says,
well, and
it's
people will
time.
start getting past you. Yeah, you probably get by at 9 or 10
peak.
doing it. But yeah, well, if you keep doing that into your late teens, kids that know what they're doing, or aren't having that will do a lot better. So
Right. And so he says, he started coaching me, and that shoot, I shot terribly, didn't compete at anything. And that's when it kind of set in, and he started teaching me to shoot the way that I'm supposed to shoot. And so from there,
So I
played with it. I've been shooting
doing competitions for a long time. Well, you and I were texting. Well, when we were talking about the Mountain Archery Fest night, and you said, "Hey, we got extra tickets," but then you said that you were doing the competition. That was the first time I even knew you did competitions.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I had no idea that you were a competition archer.
Yeah, and it's just for fun. When there's a good shoot around, we travel to it. I would love to. I actually told my wife the other day, I said, "I want to go shoot Vegas this next year. I want to get ready and
Why
go
not?
shoot Vegas and see how we stack up and do that." And because I've just shot local clubs and stuff like that. In fact, this is the first year I bought a bow purposely just for target archery.
I was going to ask you, so do you have a target bow and a hunting bow?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
Because I do everything with one bow.
Yep.
And so I'm
did that
sure
for
most
years.
of us guys do. I mean, we're not all rich like you, but
Yeah.
but I think when you get serious about it, you kind of have to have that target bow set up.
So yeah, it depends on what your ultimate goals are. And I just finally decided, and everything I was doing before was strictly for hunting.
Yeah.
It was for hunting, and everything else and it was just when I started to win a few of these shoots in the last year or two, or really competing, and I felt like I could compete. I said, "You know what? This is fun.
Yeah.
Let's just get into the sport of archery." And so I picked up a bow. I picked up a Bowtech Reckoning 38.
Nice.
So it's a big, long,
Yeah.
axle bow, forgiving setup, shooting a hinge.
I like that hinge. I've never shot a hinge.
Love it.
Do you?
Love it. I'm shooting the Ultra View hinge right now, and I can set it exactly how I want it. And if you're ever struggling with target panic, if you've shot an index release your whole life, maybe a thumb button, something like that, and you're really struggling with target panic, pick up a hinge and shoot it for a minute. And it's scary. You see people punch themselves in the face or do stuff, but you get it. You give it a minute and you can do it.
I went to, do you know who Bill Pellegrino is?
I've heard that name.
So he used to be up in Oregon. He's actually kind of the one that helped get like Cameron Haynes in. I mean, his buddy really got him into it, but Bill had a shop in Oregon, and that's where Cam got his bow set up and everything.
Gotcha.
Like that.
And you know what? That's probably where I just finished his book.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, just
actually, I'm
finished
reading it right now. I don't even know where it's at, but so Bill moved from Oregon to Colorado Springs, and so he's got a shop in Colorado Springs. He wins so there's I competed in shoots out there, like at the Air Force Academy, stuff like that. Bill wins them all. I mean, he's a phenomenal shooter. But anyways, I was shooting at his shop, and I was shooting they let me use whatever release I wanted to try out, because I was gonna go with a thumb release, and they're like, here, try this hinge release, and so I used it. But dude, I felt like I was so nervous. Honestly, I was like, this is gonna go off in my hands. My bow's gonna blow up in my hands. Like I was panicking just shooting the hinge. So it's something to get used to. It
is. It is something. Whenever you change something up in archery, you kind of confuse your mental self. You get to the point to where some people get to the point to where the target panic gets so bad. That's probably the best time to change something up, because it's going to confuse yourself. Do something different, whether it be going from an index to a thumb release. There's some phenomenal shooters that still punch the trigger.
Oh yeah,
Kyle Douglas. I mean, the dude's been phenomenal. He's killing it in a known archery. I mean, open class. He won the NFAA indoors this year.
Oh, he
did.
Competed. What's his name?
I think that was it.
Maybe maybe it was him.
He's won a couple. Metropolis, I think he ended up like third place. And stuff, but he's been shooting phenomenal. I was able to shoot a shoot in Salt Lake, and he was there.
Oh, really?
And it was the first time. It was the first time I shot the target bow. I was so nervous. I shot, and I think I ended up in like 9th place or something like that.
Still, though,
Kyle Douglas, I think, missed like 512s. The whole shoot.
The whole shoot?
The whole shoot. Yeah. It was
I'd like to just hit 512s.
yeah.
On the shoot.
And wow. And you know, I don't know if he's actually said it, but you hear people talking about it. He shoots a thumb button and he punches. And so, but he's got it controlled.
Yeah, I guess that's what I was going to say. If you got it controlled, I guess if you can pull it up and you can hold it on that on that 12 ring and then punch it, that's one thing. Yeah. I guess when I think of punching, it's people that they're all over, and it's gonna come, and there it is, and punch it. It's hard. It's hard to play that game.
And it is. You're playing with fire, really, when you're doing that. But he can control it somehow, because he does it day in and day out. For whatever reason.
So with your hinge, you'll bring it up, and you'll just hold that pin on that 12 ring, solid as a rock.
I wish.
And hinge it. Like, is that like? That's
I really wish
you're
that's
supposed to do, but
exactly.
I don't know that I can do that. I really don't know that I have the ability to do that.
So if you heard Joel Turner, shot IQ guy, his teaching's phenomenal. What he's got going is exactly what everyone should do. If anyone could take his course, if you're really wanting to get into the competition archery world and overcome target panic and everything, he's going to do it almost military style. Well, he is former military.
I was going to say, he is more, yeah.
Yeah.
How much is his course? Do you know off the top of your head?
I don't.
I'll put links for people listening. I'll put links and stuff so people can find it.
Yeah. Shot IQ. His son won Vegas this year.
Oh.
Yeah, Bodie.
Oh, okay.
Bodie Turner won Vegas, 16 years old.
About that being his son.
I think is what they said. I think he was 16 years old this year. And he says the kid he was shooting up in the shoot off in the final thing, Joel could see him going open loop. Basically, he was starting to punch the trigger. He's starting to he'd mentally break down, and Joel Turner could see it. And could you imagine in the stress situation? He's shooting for $50,000,
right?
But he's done it so much. Bodie has been taught how to do it
since he was a nitty bitty little kid.
Yep, exactly how he's supposed to do it. Exactly what he should do. He's not going to go open loop. he's gonna finish, and that's what he said. He says, finish him. He's finish him, boy. Is what I think is what Joel said he was thinking at the time, and just what he teaches is phenomenal. It'll get you over target panic, and it'll make you actually get a release that you can
actually use.
Well, it's a surprise release. Yeah, is what you want.
So like a back tension or a hinge or something like that.
Yeah, and it could be even with an index release. A lot of people, whether they're hunters or not, he's teaching them how to just not go open loop, stay closed loop at all times, and basically what that means is basically stay mentally into it and be able to stop your finger and your pull at any time throughout the drop process. So when you say you're sitting rock solid on the 12 ring and you're squeezing it off, I wish my pin just sat there.
Yeah.
Joel Turner he'll take weight off your bow, because more weight, a heavier bow will cause your bow to move slower, your pin to move slower.
Right.
He's saying live with the movement.
Really?
Get your pin to go into the spot and know that you've got movement, but you're always moving back to the center at all times. So
you're always coming back, as it's coming off, you're always putting it back.
And if you're a trigger puncher, you're punching the trigger, you're hitting the spot, shooting and coming off the spot. You're going through the point you want to aim at. So you're looking at your pin hits the 12 ring. You're mentally you're saying go off.
It's time to go.
It's time to go. But at that point, once you're on the spot, you're actually coming off of the spot. So the idea of it just hovering there and you're getting that surprise release, whether it be with a hinge or an index release, you're just going to squeeze, roll. They say Bodie says roll, and as he's rolling, that's his shooting process. The last thing is he's going off, he's rolling his release, his hinge back to where it goes off. He says at any time, if it breaks down so bad that it's coming out of the spot or anything like that so bad, he can come back to it, stop it, and come back. But you want to be able to even live with that movement. Live with the pin dancing in that area.
I've struggled with that because I've never thought about it that way. I've always and I can't tell you how long I've pulled my bow back and I have held it there for a whole lot longer than I should have, practicing just trying to keep that pin right on that 12 ring. Just focusing on not living with the movement, focusing trying to get rid of the movement, and it's kind of frustrating because you can't get rid of it completely.
No, so it keeps moving. You get fatigued. You hold it for a long time, and Levi Morgan will tell you, and he'll start to time his release. He says, and he'll switch it up. He'll change up his release or change something up because he doesn't want to know when that bow is going to go off if it starts to get point. But what he says, he acquires his target very quickly. Get that pin on the spot and start your shooting process so that fatigue doesn't get in and it doesn't dance too much. And if you watch him shoot, he shoots really quickly,
very fast.
Yeah, and
Levi's my hero, by the way. So I'm glad you brought up his name. He doesn't know that, but he's my hero.
He's phenomenal.
Dude, he's a stud.
And he hunts with a hinge.
That's what I love. I love everything that he does to target, he applies it to hunting, and I love that.
Yep, exactly. And he says, and he'll tell you when it comes to target panic or anything like that, he can't go back to an index release. He just mentally he can't handle it. And quite frankly, probably all of us are.
Right.
And he knows he's better when that surprise release going off.
I don't know if I could hunt with a hinge release. I'd mess it up, because
I'm the same way.
Your heart gets going, and you're in awkward positions. It's not like you're just perfectly standing there. You're in weird positions when you're hunting, and so I think that something would mess up. I'd release it too early or punch myself in the face or something like that. Yeah,
you kind of lose a little bit of control at points there, and that's exactly what Joel's trying to teach us. Even in those moments, you've shot it so many times. You shot your bow so many times. You've gone through the process so many times. In that moment, you're not going to break down.
Yeah.
And that's really what it's supposed to be. You shot so many arrows the same way. You're controlling it every time. Even in that moment when that big buck or that big bull is standing in front of you, it's gonna work. And at that point, you don't have a spot you're aiming at when you're thinking of an animal.
Right.
Let that pin dance.
Yeah. Yeah, let it go all over in that area because all of it's kill zone.
Yep, exactly.
Well, that's what Cam Hanes says. That's why he shoots every day. That way I've done it so many times that when it comes time when that bull or that buck is standing in front of me, it's almost like muscle memory at that point.
Exactly.
So.
Yep.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yep, and if you shoot enough, it helps a ton.
Do you shoot every day?
I try every day. Really? If I here it gets super windy.
Yeah.
Where we're at, it's almost always, we've almost got a south wind every single day.
Every day.
You got to get out early in the morning or right at dark and get out and shoot. And if I can't, I'll shoot a little bit right in my backyard, whether it's 20 yards and just get a few shots. I'll try to get a few shots in every day if I can.
I think that's one thing. Like I did so good there for a long time, shooting every single day, and I felt confident. I like when I have something like Total Archery Challenge or something like that coming up, you know, then I'm like, all right, yeah, I'm gonna shoot every day
this week.
Yeah, that way I'm ready for it. And so like I feel very confident. If I shoot every day, I feel so much better than like right now. I haven't shot in probably 2 weeks.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh, this is a bad time to have this conversation because I don't feel very confident at all. Like if you and I were to go out back and shoot right now, I'd be nervous.
Yeah.
So
and I'm feeling totally confident right now. I got my second limited entry, elk tag in Utah that I've ever had.
I still can't believe you drew that.
Took me 11 years. Yeah, I drew it with 5 points.
Yeah.
It shouldn't have. It takes double that to draw, and
nobody gets to hunt 2 limited entry elk hunts in their lifetime, and here you are getting to do it at 30 years old.
Well, that's I'm on my second, and that's the beauty of archery.
It is.
If you're willing to go and hunt with a bow, nowadays I think I looked at it. One of the most popular units in the state right now takes 27 points to draw with a rifle. Yeah. That's I've got literally once in a lifetime.
I've got 21 points for elk right now.
So you're getting ready to go.
Well, and if I would have put out for out here, I would have drawn.
Yeah.
But did I tell you I'm going to Alaska this year?
I've heard it on the podcast.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So this year I was like, no, I really don't want to draw this year. So I basically just bought a point this year, and then we'll see what happens next year. But
yeah,
I've been putting in for a quarter. That's why I would tell people, like, that's a quarter of a century I've been putting in for limited entry elk. Like, that's silly. I should have switched to I should have done archery when I was a kid, because I would have been the same way. When I was 19 years old, 20 years old, I would have been able to draw, I guess, when I came home off my mission. I probably could have drawn a tag.
Yeah, and if it wasn't for, being in archery as much as I was, or having my dad that got me really into the archery aspect, and while I was gone on my church mission, to put me in for the hunt and be able to go, it's great. I'm grateful for him for doing that for me, because if it wasn't, who knows what if I wasn't shooting a bow from now on, I'd probably be like you, or like most people are.
I say most people are that way.
They just wait for a great elk hunt, and
that's the bad thing, is now I've been waiting for that long, and it's not going to be like, when I finally get that tag, there's gonna be so much stress and so much pressure on, like, I'm not like, so Jed drew his tag. Did I tell you that?
Oh yeah.
So he drew his rifle tag. I think he had 25 points. So we're up by Fillmore, and he's like, this isn't even fun. I was like, are you excited about this? Because we went and spotted there. We went and scouted this last weekend. I was like, is this fun? He's like, this isn't fun at all. He's like, I'd much rather be in your seat, helping somebody else out. He's like, for me, having, I've waited, a good portion of my life for this tag, and now I finally have it, and it's a horrible drought year. It has been a drought year for the last 2 or 3 years. He's like, so I'm not going to get a great bull. I know I'm not going to get it. I'm not going to get a 400-inch bull. He says, if I can find a 350, I'll be super stoked. And he's like,
that's a great bull.
It is, but you think limited entry, you've been putting it for 25 years?
You think you
want a 400-inch bull?
You do. And I'm thinking the same thing. I'm going to go do this. I'm going to go find a 400-inch bull. And, it's a drought year, and I'm hunting the desert.
Yeah.
But you know what? On 5 points, I've still got that enthusiasm, and I'm excited about it. And you're right. Maybe I'm not feeling as much stress because I did it with 5 points or whatnot.
You've been there, done it before. Yeah,
I've done it. I've done it once.
Yeah.
And I've been fortunate enough to do some open bulls and kill a couple of bulls.
I was gonna say, you used to have to kill a bigger bull than you killed on the open bull last year. That was a nice bull. So.
It was a good bull. He's broken and everything, and so I still don't have a wall hanger. I did a Euro mount on him and stuff, but I really want to do a shoulder mount on a bull. He had his first broken, and he was broke at his 5th and 6th, and so I was going, it's not my perfect bull.
You can fix those things, right?
Yeah, you can. And I do have a pretty 6-point bull that I killed on the open as well, but it was like a 280 bull, Great bull.
Something like this.
Nothing. Right, great bull. Nothing to scoff at, but this is my opportunity to hunt something really good. And and a 350 bull is a great bull.
350 bull is a big bull. Yeah, I would take that any day of the week. I mean, that's a nice bull.
And so, and we're out scouting and seeing something, and with a bow, let alone, you gotta. I've got more time. That's the other thing about archery.
Yeah,
is I've got
you have a month.
A month. Yep. I've got a month to hunt, and I can scout for it.
Yeah.
So I can scout for it and maybe get an idea of what my real realistic goals will be. So if shooting a 350 bull, if I don't find a 350 bull in the next month and a half that we have to scout, then I'm going to probably shoot at 330 or whatever it is, the best I'm seeing.
Which is still a good bowl. That's still a good bowl. If you come out with a 330 boll, that's still especially with a bow. That's what I always tell if you're shooting with a bow, you kind of gotta give and take. So Seth, my E100 partner, he has an antelope tag. We were out last night scouting and putting up cameras for antelope out here, and I was like, dude, you're shooting with a bow. Like, it's not 80 or bust. You don't need an 80-inch pronghorn with a bow. If a 65-incher walks in, you shoot that thing. So
is it? It's not this unit.
No, it's out here.
I'm running some cameras. I might be able to help him on that a little bit. Really? Yeah.
So we got a lot of private property we're on.
Oh, cool.
And so we put up a ton of cameras last night, and we saw a good buck last night. Probably not, maybe 65-inch buck. Solid, and I told him if that buck walks in on you during the hunt, I'll kill you if you don't shoot that.
I do have a 70. I think there's a 70-incher that I've got on camera.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'll have to.
Yes.
I'll tell you where that's at.
We need to know about that.
So, yeah. I'll help you out.
How many people hide pronghorn? If you find one, that's like they're not that impressive.
It's funny because I actually, after I drew my limited entry, you got those 5-year waiting
you have to wait 5 years,
And so you can either put in, and as a resident, we can only put in for one species.
Right.
I was like, you know what? In those 5 years, I can draw an antelope tag. And so I put in, and I drew it with 1 point.
What?
And I was like, at the time that I drew the tag, I had 1 point. I drew the tag as archery.
Uh-huh.
And again, it was Boulder. And so I was driving to go, but I was like, man, I just want to hunt a spike elk.
Yeah.
I'm okay with going on the spike elk hunt and doing that because, a spike elk's as big as an antelope.
Oh, yeah. That's bigger than an antelope.
Yeah, well, right. Antler-wise even.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's true.
I just didn't. I don't have family that has really hunted antelope much, and I haven't got too excited for it. I went and hunted one day on that hunt because I ended up spike elk hunting the whole time. So
I hunted antelope in Colorado one time, and it's kind of cool because you can hunt during the day, it's really weird actually because you're hunting right in the heart of at noon. I shot my antelope at noon, so that's kind of cool. But I'm kind of like you, my family's never done it. Kendall shot this one, and that's cool. But I'd much rather hunt this,
deer
than that. Else. And so, and I'm kind of the same way. So when I was in Colorado for 6 years, so non-resident, I could put in for every limited entry. So I've got 6 points in every single limited entry here. That's awesome. So when I draw my elk tag and burn those points, then I could probably, I could get antelope first year. I could probably I probably can't get deer for probably another, 8 to 10 years, but still, at least I'm that much closer.
Yeah, and I didn't do the tag justice. I wish I would have spent a little more time doing it now just because I haven't killed one.
Yeah.
I just haven't done it. And so I kind of wish I would have spent a little more time and done it at this point, but now I'm also thinking, man, why didn't I just put in for deer for a couple more years and have 2 more points?
And if you're gonna go shoot antelope, let's go to Wyoming and shoot some 80-inch antelope.
That's true.
If you're really if you want to kill a good antelope, you want to put it on the wall. Yeah, you can go to Wyoming and shoot a really big for what an antelope is, a big antelope. So,
right. And I've been putting in for Nevada to go and do that. And so now my strategy now is just put in for deer. Maybe you'll get to do that once in your lifetime to go and hunt a limited entry deer hunt.
Yeah.
Because in Utah, in 5 I happen to draw this tag. I've got the next 5 years to put in for deer.
Yep.
And so I'll be at 8 at the end of this waiting period.
Oh yeah.
Before I can. Of course, I'm going to jump right back in and put in for elk probably.
Will you really? You won't keep putting in for deer, huh?
Yeah, I think I'll just jump back in for elk.
Really? That's interesting. You're an elk guy.
I like elk. Yeah. I hunt elk.
Attaboy, dude. Attaboy.
But I love mule deer. And I fought with myself. My uncles will ask me, or my dad will ask me, are you a mule deer guy or are you an elk guy?
Yeah.
And I'm going,
because you kind of one or the other. But
sometimes, depending on the season, depending on the tags I have, I'm going, maybe I'm a mule deer guy. Because I was getting amped up this year. I have enough points to draw the Kaibab archery tag. And I was like, I'm going to the Kaibab this year. This is going to be awesome. I'm set. I'm going to hunt a big mule deer on the Kaibab. And then I got lucky in the Utah draw, and I drew my limited entry elk tag. Like, well, scrap that.
Yep, that's
Luckily,
done.
the Arizona tags
outcome.
later. I'll just throw in for the strip rifle hunt in November and
Yep.
or something, and then go do that next year or whatever. And I get excited about big mule deer, but
I do too. Oh yeah, if it's a big mule deer, absolutely. But you don't get to hunt that very often.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
right, yeah, 200 inchers. But the thing is I think local knowledge of a unit is everything.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, even on these, whether it be a general tag in Utah or even Colorado,
yeah,
you can find a big deer.
yeah,
I feel I've spent a lot of time driving the roads. We've got property out from here in out my backyard. I'm spending a lot of time
yeah.
looking at deer and everything else, and I've seen some good deer. You spend the time, and on these general units,
They're there.
It's you can kill a 190 inch buck or
yeah.
even a 200 inch deer if you get after it. I've been fortunate enough to kill a 200 inch deer, and 2 years ago I killed a 190 inch deer with my bow, and so for that reason too, that I feel like, you know what, I've got the confidence. Maybe I can kill 190 or even hunt a 200 inch deer on the general tag. I'm going to put in for elk.
Yeah,
on my
that's
limited
true.
entry. So
That's a really good point, because a lot of these general units you can shoot.
it can happen. I guess.
It can happen. Yeah, I don't know. When I look at it, like, and that's drastic. You know,
Yeah,
if you look at just
215.
a normal
Yeah.
mule deer, man, and then I look at an elk, I'm like, man, it's kind of like going back to that antelope versus a spike elk. A spike elk has bigger antlers than an antelope, but I love elk. They're huge.
Yeah.
They're huge. They're cool. They make cool noises. You know, I love elk hunting. Oh
Yeah.
man, I love elk hunting.
Yeah, and I think that's just where I'm at right now. You know, I've shot a couple nice bucks, and I want a big bull. I haven't killed a great big bull.
Yeah.
I've killed, one 300 inch bull, and you know what? He was 300 because he was broke, but
Still a nice bull though.
he was still a great bull. His third's laid
all-
way
he was
out.
only
and got
300?
excited.
Are you
Yeah.
sure? He looked. I guess I haven't laid hands on him, but
Yeah,
he looked like a really nice bull.
being broke, he could have gone a little bit better, but you never really, his first was completely broken off and broke right where his fifth and sixth on his main beam, and
Oh really?
yeah. So that's gonna cut him way
Yeah, that
down
will.
on those breaks,
And
so
his first was broke off.
yep, his first was broken off, and his fronts were big,
Huge.
That's where he really scores his first, seconds, and then long thirds, and then he petered out a little bit on his back end, but maybe drought bull,
drought,
and that's
yep.
what we got here, and
Yep.
especially on the open bull. But man, to be able to shoot a bull like that at 8 yards.
So with your limited entry hunt, is it like, are you 330 or bust? I mean, will you come home without an elk if
Right now, I'm 350 or bust.
you're 350 or bust?
Yeah,
Woo!
yeah. I'm gonna go big. I've killed a few
I guess
bulls,
yeah.
and this is my opportunity.
Yeah.
This is my chance to do it. I'm not going to stress out over it. If I give it my all and I scout hard and I don't find a 350 bull, then yeah, I'll say, okay, I'll shoot a 340 bull or something. But
Well, you already posted a video today of a bull that's going to be bigger than that, bigger than a 320. So
and that's and that's why. And I think he's quite a bit bigger than that.
yeah, that was a good bull. That was
I think the video doesn't do him quite justice.
Oh, it doesn't?
He was totally. I mean,
Did you post on Instagram or
yeah, it's
Facebook?
Instagram. It was on Instagram, and he's got a big 5-side.
Yeah, that
And what you
5-side.
can't really tell in that is the mass on that bull. He was surprisingly. I was thinking, and maybe I'm not the greatest scorer and whatnot, but I was thinking he was pushing 340 as he was 335, and he was totally different. He was like white. And right now, most of them are still kind of red hides and stuff.
Yeah, he is
was
very
white.
white.
And dark velvet.
Yeah, I'm just kind of looking at him here. See, the thing is, like when they're in velvet, they look so dang heavy. He's gonna walk behind that. How do I go back to that?
Yeah,
There we
they
go.
do. They definitely do look
so
heavier.
heavy.
But he was around some other bulls, and I was surprised. If you look at the size of his ears compared to his antlers, and how, he surprised me when he stepped
He's a good
out.
bull.
He was a bull that went, wow, okay,
Yeah.
that's the best bull I've seen so far.
It's the best bull I've seen in that area.
So
yeah.
I've got a couple on camera that are like that.
Have you?
And maybe a little bit bigger straight sixes.
So if he had
So for
if
that
he was
reason-
6 on that one side, yeah, I would say easy 340.
Yeah, but you know what's cool about him though, and I got excited about it. There's something about big big whale tails.
Oh, yeah.
Big fives. Are there?
Dude,
pretty cool.
So both my dad and my brother have shot limited entry bulls, and both of them were 5 points, and I freaking love them because that whale tail comes off there. It's just huge on a 5 point.
And you see that bull on one side, you get that big giant whale tail, and his other side is a nice straight 6. And he's just kind of a really pretty bull.
He is a pretty bull. That, and man, his force, his royals are beautiful.
Yeah, they're long, and I think the video is a little bit deceiving than measuring them in real life.
Send me that video? Would you be okay to send me that?
Yeah,
I'll kind of splice it in here so people know what we're talking about.
Yeah, I think the video is a little deceiving. I was trying to figure out what he was and whatnot, and maybe I'm not the greatest of scorer, but he had some mass and he dwarfed everything that he was around, and just really great bull. That 4th on his 5 side is just it's heavy huge. And long. Yeah, and so he's a pretty cool bull.
Yeah, that kind of bull I would have a hard time passing up. So if you're 350 or bust, that would be a hard one to pass up.
It would be. We'll see. We'll see how scouting goes over the next month and a half, and we'll make that decision when we get there. But
they still have a little bit of growing to do. I mean, honestly, they're not completely grown. I saw some that were last night that still had quite a bit of growing.
Yeah, I think that video was June 30th or something like that.
Oh wow. So, okay. So yeah.
So I mean, a week ago or so, and so we got a month. Yeah. Possibly of growth. It'll be interesting to see what these bulls turn into now. Obviously, they can stop growing or whatever, and I'm really hoping we get some. I think I'm seeing some rain in the forecast.
I looked at the forecast today. I think we're supposed to get some rain finally. Golly,
I'm hoping. I hope they don't peter out at the end, but it's been so dry and it's starting to look pretty bleak out there as it is. But
for feed, there's just not a lot of feed. Like I look around town and just it's just getting kind of sad for feed for these animals. Gotta have some water.
Yeah.
We need to do, I don't know, some kind of special dance or something. I don't know. It's not working.
Yeah. Do you know what I do? I open roofs.
That's a good point. Yeah, tear off a roof.
Yeah.
It's going to rain. Yeah. I'm going to start building a house here in the next little bit. So I'm sure once I start building a house, it's going to pour on it.
That's exactly how it's going. We just got our pad done, and I was just going, now it's going to rain.
Yep. So. Are you building up here?
So, yeah. Yep, we're building up the canyon from here.
So your in-laws, are they building too right now?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, they've already got the concrete in and starting framing right now.
Nice.
But we just barely got our pad done. And,
I don't like that because then you're not going to be in our ward.
That's true. Yeah, I'll be out of the ward. But
of course, I'm going to be moving anyway, so I guess we'll be out of the ward too. So
Yep, but we'll be out there, and it's going to be nice to be out there, and we've got a bunch of deer and already on the property and stuff like that we can watch every evening and
hunt in the backyard.
And that's what it's. Yeah, I'm excited to be out there. We got 25 acres out there. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
That'd be awesome. Hey, I want to get back to the archery, competition stuff because you just did the Mountain Archery Fest, right?
Yep. Yep, my first one.
So I want to know? Have you done a total archery challenge before?
That one I haven't.
Oh, you haven't? Okay.
I need to,
dude. We've got to go. We've seriously like. When it's Snowbird? Or I guess they don't do it Snowbird anymore. They do it, where do they do it at? Is it, oh my gosh, what's the name of that? Park City. Do they do it in Park City now?
Yeah, I think there is one in Park City. They just finished, South Dakota or something? Yeah. That's where they were at. I don't know where they're going. Is that where they're going next?
No, they just finished. Oh, so Colorado's this weekend, right now.
Oh, really?
Today, or tomorrow and Saturday. Well, tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday is Colorado. I'm supposed to be there, but my son's getting baptized on Saturday, so I won't be able to go. I was all registered and everything. I was really? So excited to go again. I love Total Archery Challenge. It kicks your butt. It is so hard, but they're a lot of fun. So we need to go.
I need to go do that. I got some buddies that have told me about it, and I need to go and shoot that. Do they do competition, or is it just? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So they kind of intermingle it a little bit. So they do have like competition. So Dudley's always there, and
gotcha.
Yeah, I think he usually wins when he's there shooting.
Yeah.
But yeah, they do have competitions there as well.
That's cool. So, yeah, I'd love to do the competition and obviously shoot their courses. There's no better preparation for hunts.
Oh no.
I mean,
well, it's good for it because it gets your hiking in, so you get your cardio, you get like just hiking the mountain, it builds up your strength and endurance, but then also your skills of shooting. And I don't know, so Mountain Archery Fest, I don't know if they do this, but Total Archery Challenge, they put you in some awkward spots. Like you're shooting underneath tree branches. Yeah. You're shooting through trees that are this far apart at a mountain lion at 80 yards. Dude, I'm not kidding you. So
they make you work. Huh?
Oh, there was one target. I'm not kidding you. It was 80 yards. It was at a coyote, and the trees kind of funneled in like together like this. So I'm okay if it goes like this, you know?
Right.
But when it comes in like this, and then it was sitting right at the very edge of it, and you're like,
oh man,
80 yards. Like this is terrible. I think a couple of us hit the body of the coyote, but it's like this big.
Sometimes you can play it safe and go for another the rear end or something, or you can try for that spot that's sitting
on
right
that one,
tucked up next to that tree.
That's all you can do is that little tree. So that's how they do it at Total Archery Challenge. So Mountain Archery Fest. I'm gonna get those mixed up. Mountain Archery Fest, was it similar?
So when they did the competition, they had a few smaller targets this time, and they did have. It wasn't super hard. They didn't have spots where the you could always see the spot at least. They did make you get in a blind. They had a few shots. You had to shoot from your knees. You had to do some things, but pretty much not obscured. The target was visual. You could see it.
Okay. Distances were they pretty far?
Distances weren't terribly far.
Okay.
It was really kind of set for the target. I think the farthest one was 63 or something like
really?
that. So I mean that's a little bit far. It was an elk that was like 63.
Dude, Total Archery Challenge does an elk at 120 yards.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Yeah, you're just like Kentucky windaging it, trying to hit it.
Yeah, and they had courses that you could shoot that far, but the competition they didn't do that. I think they
kept it like they were trying to like
maybe
you could actually score.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, so they wanted you to be able to score and kind of shoot, for a competition and make it. Obviously, the harder you make it, the competition gets fun.
Yeah,
makes it a little more difficult. And there's things
people aren't running up scores.
Yeah, exactly, and it challenges you and you make you do it. But shooting out of a blind, for example, if you're shooting the open class, you got a 30-inch bar on the front of your bow. That makes it. I think tough a little bit tough to you would have to take it off. You really would. You would have to take it off to shoot inside there. So I was gonna shoot open, changed my mind, ended up shooting the bow hunter. There was more competition in the bow hunter class at that competition. In fact, they ended up closing the open down. They didn't have enough shooters shooting the open, and I think they took it towards the bow hunter, and that's great. Yeah, it was great. I was able to pick up my hunting bow and just go and shoot that. And we had quite a few people in the competition decided to shoot the competition. Wow! And it was a lot of fun.
Nice.
It was
nice.
Fun.
How'd you do?
So I won it.
I know. I'm waiting for you to say that.
Yeah, it was fun. I didn't think I was. I ended up. I shot with a guy named Brady out of Ely, Nevada. Great shooter. He was in my group that had put us with, and he ended up coming in second, and we pushed each other. Oh man, and
that's good though. That's good to sit there and push each other and compete against each other.
And I think you do kind of shoot. You get some friends that are some good shooters, and you kind of shoot. They push you.
You shoot up to them.
Yep, you shoot up. Yeah, and so it's always good, I think, to get some people or friends that really want to get into it or shoot it, and it's always good to get someone new into it, obviously, and it's for everybody. Yeah, it's for everybody, but you get someone that pushes you, and you get nervous, just like maybe as if you're hunting, creating scenarios, and that's why I like the competition. It just prepares you for hunting.
Yeah, it makes it so when you actually are out there hunting, it's a little bit less stressful.
Yeah, you've done it.
Yeah,
you've done it.
That's amazing,
they put you at the end. We shot. I think it was a 20 or 25 target. It was 25 target course, and then you have your score at the end of that, and then they do a shoot off. So they only did 3 targets on the shoot off, and so you're shooting in front of everybody.
So if you're tied, or everybody does a shoot off?
So everyone, the top 5.
Okay.
Top 5 shooters are shooting in the shoot off. And so they set out 3 targets. Everyone had to shoot the first target before we can go on to the second target. And so we're lined up, people watching, scores are tight, and it creates that scenario. Yeah, it can. Jeez. It can create scenarios that are very stressful, and if you can control it, and if you got that shot IQ, and you can get that down, and you just done it a million times. Calm yourself, make the shot you're supposed to do, and man, Brady put it on. When I was up 6 going into the shoot off, and the first target was a little beaver at I don't remember, 33 yards or something like that, and so I shoot and I 10 it, and he center 12s it. Oh, he center 12s, and I was like, okay,
oh crap,
yeah,
okay, down to 4,
and they made the rules. on 14s, on the shoot off, you could shoot for 14s.
Oh, okay.
And so usually the 14s aren't in play. The 14s are up in the corner of the eight ring, and you can call it. They says you can call a 14. And if you miss the 14, it's a 5. Doesn't matter if
you're in the 8 ring, you're still a 5. Yep.
It's 14 or 5 if you call the 14. And that was just the rule they made, and that's fine. Everyone knew it before we started. And so all of a sudden I'm only up 4 going to the second target.
Yeah.
And he's coming. And man, he shot first. And for whatever reason on this target, I think it was a bobcat. The 14 wasn't up in the corner, and he didn't call the 14. It was down on the 10 ring.
Oh.
And he hit it. He hit the 14 ring, didn't call
it.
Didn't call it, but he was on the line of the 10. Because for whatever reason, that 14 ring wasn't in the right place.
That's weird.
It was kind of weird. They have cursed targets. And most targets around here are the Morels or the Reinhardts. Yeah. And so they were a little bit different. Even though they had the 14s, they were a little different spots. But he lined the 10. And it was like a 50-yard bobcat, and I center 12'd it.
Nice.
And I was like, okay.
Got my 2 points.
Got my 2 points back. Here we are back at 6, 1 target left.
Yeah.
And it's 70. It was I think it was right near 70 yards, 66
wow.
yards. And it was a mountain lion. I was like, okay, here we go. And he's waiting for me to shoot.
Yeah.
Seeing what he needs to do, right? Well, I shoot, and I got an 8. I shot an 8.
That's pretty dang good. It's 70
and I'm going,
yards.
And he's just like, at that point, I hit an 8, and he says
he can't win at that point.
He says at this point, he's like, I'm just going to put it in there. I says, and he shoots it, and he shot an 8 also. And I says, dude, why didn't you call 14?
Call 14. Yeah, you have to.
Because you call a 14, you hit it, you tie it. 5 doesn't hurt you.
Right.
And he's like, I didn't even think about it.
Yeah.
He says in the moment, things are going, and you got to do math.
Right.
In the moment, and he's a really great guy, and he was actually, he says, I just hit center foam after you hit the 8. I knew a 12 wasn't going to do it. He figured whatever, and if you just thought, he says, should have called 14 and tried for it, and he says I aimed center foam and hit the 8, and
because if he would have got a 5, he still would have been in second place, right?
Yeah. The third place was behind us, I think, by 10 points or something.
Okay.
It wouldn't have mattered at that point, and so he was like, I don't know what I was thinking, but he's a really good sport, really good guy.
Oh, you kind of have to be in that. I mean, and it's. I mean, I don't. Maybe you weren't shooting for $50,000 or $100,000. It's just.
But they have a pretty good purse. I mean, shout out to Mountain Archery Fest, because they're kind of still getting their feet going, and they've got a good thing going. Well, it's really fun.
Brandon, did you listen to the podcast I did with him?
Yeah.
So he's such a cool dude, and he's very humble, and he wants to make it into what we want it to be.
Exactly.
I mean, he has a vision for it, but he's very open to like, this is what if you guys want it to be this, or you want it to change a little bit. Yeah, we're more than open to it. I love that about him.
Yeah, after we shot, he came up to us.
Did he?
We had the 3 of us there that ended up placing, and he's talking to us. He says, what can we do to get people? He says, please, tell people about this. Tell them about the money prize. Tell them about all this stuff. Let them know what we have going here. I don't think a lot of people realize, because you sign up for Mountain Archery Fest and you have a time set up.
Yeah, you have your knock time.
But you know what? He says, I just didn't have as many walk-ins as I normally do. And I was like, I don't know that people know that they can still just walk up and sign up and shoot it. And
I'll bet nobody knows that, because like total archery challenge, you can't do that. You have to sign up in advance, and you can't just walk in on it.
Right. Yeah. So, at Mountain Archery Fest, they were up there, and he says, yeah, our walk-ins are a little down. I says, I wouldn't have even known.
Yeah.
If I didn't sign up, I signed up at the expo, at the Hunt Expo. And so I had planned on going. It was kind of close to home. I thought, I've got to hit that one.
Oh, yeah.
And so I signed up at a time. I thought I needed a time, and I got there. And I didn't even realize you could do that. So if people realize, hey, I've got some time, there's a shoot going Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
We could run up with the family. The cool thing is there's competition. You don't have to shoot competition. There was like 4 courses.
Right. You can do the Pope and Young course
if
you want to just run out there and do it.
Dude,
that's all I wanted to do. That's what I told Brandon. I was like, that's all I want to do. I'm not going to do the competition. I just want to go shoot the Pope and Young animals.
It was awesome.
Oh, it's so cool.
And it's so much fun. And we competed in our group and had a lot of fun looking at the animals that are there, and they're phenomenal.
Oh yeah,
what a cool thing he's got going, and you could take kids, and walk up there and shoot, and then once you're done with the course, maybe I'm not done, you can run and do another course. He's got like 3 or 4 courses, I think, set up, ready to go.
Yep.
And it's all set up. There's a couple beginner courses, couple intermediate, or an intermediate course, and a difficult course that you can test everybody.
Yeah.
And so,
but no pressure. It's fun. You know, you can just go and just do it and have fun.
Exactly.
You got to take a stack of arrows like that with you when you go. But that's why I have that stack of arrows, because I was supposed to go to TAC this weekend. But
I've been getting my kids. I've got an 8 and a 6-year-old, my daughters, and even my 4-year-old boys shooting now, and they can walk that course. And I didn't know how serious it was. This was my first one.
Yeah.
And I went up there and I was going, man, I should have brought my kids to walk the course with us. They could have done this.
Your wife shoots too, right?
And so she does. So we've got some young kids, 2, 4, 6, and 8. I got 2 girls and 2 boys, and they get to be a little bit of a handful on the mountain.
Yeah, but that would be a lot. Give them a few more years, and then you can get the whole family up there.
Yeah.
Which that'd be cool. That'd be so much fun. I'd love to get my kids into it. I mean, my kids shoot. They have their bows and whatnot, but I don't think they've even ever thought about doing competition stuff. I'd love to get them into it. Yeah.
And most of these shoots are that way. And I don't know the archery shoot that there really isn't.
No,
I mean, maybe Vegas or maybe these high competition courses. Maybe they're not. But for the most part, you find any of the local courses around you that they're doing 3D shoots, you can take your whole family. They can shoot as peewee, cubs, whatever they can, and they can have a lot of fun doing it. And there's not a better way to spend time with your family and go do that than go shoot archery. And that's what I grew up doing. That's what my dad did in Idaho.
That's crazy.
I mean, we could find a shoot almost every weekend.
Oh yeah, up there. That's what I was talking to the initial ascent guys, and yeah, there's all sorts of archery shoots up there. Like, oh yeah, they're everywhere. Yeah, we don't have that down here.
Yeah,
I think northern Utah does. I think northern Utah has a lot of a lot more than we have here.
Yeah, even Arizona and Nevada has one. There's one here in Ely that's fairly close to us.
Is there?
Talk about difficult shooting.
Is it just a competition though?
So it doesn't have to be. No, you can do fun. You can shoot for fun.
Okay.
Or you can sign up for competition and shoot competition.
I mean, if you're gonna shoot, you might as well sign up for the competition and
you can. Yeah.
Post a score.
So for me, I typically don't shoot on Sundays.
Uh-huh.
I
kind of had to on this one though, right?
So I actually didn't return Sunday. I didn't return on Sunday. I shot for competition thinking maybe I'll come back Sunday and shoot, but
I thought you had to shoot all 3 days.
So you would for
Mountain Archery
Archery Fest? No, it was all done Saturday. The competition was all done Saturday.
Oh, okay.
So it was Saturday morning we shot the 25 target course, and then we finished it that afternoon.
But the one in Ely is
Sunday.
Oh, Saturday, Sunday. Okay.
So Saturday, Sunday. I shot it Saturday thinking maybe I'll drive back up Sunday. I took my 2 girls and a friend here from town, and we went and shot it. And man, we had so much fun shooting. They shot for fun. We walk up a little closer, and they had their bows, and they were able to shoot. And I took my target bow and shot, and I shot really well at that shoot. But what was so fun is they set up a smoker round. When you're talking about shooting next to trees and everything else, they really tested you. They made all the shooters stand back off the line, off down around a corner or something, so they couldn't see the stake. They called your name. You walked up to the stake, and they pointed at the target. And the first target was a bedded down deer straight off a cliff, straight down. It was only like 25 yards, but it was straight down.
Uh-huh.
And so you walk up there and they say, you see the target? And then they say, yeah. And they start going 10, 9.
Oh, no
8.
way.
They give you 10 seconds to draw, guess the yardage, and shoot. If you don't shoot, you don't get a score. And if you don't shoot at all, like if you don't let the arrow go, you're out.
Oh, so you have to shoot in that 10 seconds.
One arrow. It's a smoker round, so you get one arrow. That arrow breaks, you're out. So
holy smokes.
Talk about creating a scenario for you, or a hunting scenario of whatever. You get 10 seconds to draw, guess the yardage, and shoot the first target. I think everyone got through the first one. There's some soft dirt behind it. I don't know that everyone hit the target. Their arrow made it.
Right.
Second target, I think, was a javelina, and they put it in a hole in a rock.
Oh, my God. Oh, really? So you have rock all around it?
Rock all around it, and the javelina is back too. So it's deceiving to guess the yardage. How far back is it from the hole in the rock?
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So you had to shoot through, and that was really tough. I think that one got like 3 or 4 people in my group. And so yeah,
that's dirty. That's dirty. You don't do that.
Talk about creating anxiety and trigger punching.
Oh yeah.
Trigger panic. Yeah, you get in your shot process quickly, guess the yardage, and get in your process quickly, and start getting that that rolling going. And
but what a great way to build like hunting technique though, right there. Because if you think about a hunting situation, for the most part, you have 10 seconds or less for that shot opportunity. So, and sometimes you're guessing your yardage too. I mean, I know you you're probably like me. You kind of prepare and figure out where everything's at, and then hope it lands up in one of those. But yeah, a lot of times you're guessing your yardage, so that's perfect hunt preparation.
Exactly. Yeah, and it just that's what it does. It creates a scenario. You don't always get to range your animal, like you said. And so that creates that, and it was really fun.
How'd you do on that one?
I did well.
Yeah,
I won that one. I won the smoker round, and it was I got all the way to the last target. So the fifth or sixth target was a doll sheep, and they put it behind a down log. A log was down, and all the branches were going up in front of it. I mean, where I thought the 12 ring was, there was a big old branch right through it. I put it right next to that branch and let her fly. And I put it in there, and it hit my arrow, made it all the way to the last target. The last target was one of those Iron Maidens. So if you've seen those, it's a metal cutout.
Oh, yeah.
Got foam and holes.
Yep.
And I walk up there, and they say, "Okay, you see the target?" Yeah. And there's 2 of us left at this point, where you can shoot the 12, which is up at the top of it, and it's,
flirting
2 or 3 inches, this big.
Yeah.
And they didn't put it too far out. I think it was only like 20 yards.
Oh, okay.
And then there's a 10 ring that's a little bigger, and then an 8 ring that's a little bigger than that.
Yeah.
And so they weren't very big in that metal, though.
Yeah.
They weren't very big, and I drew, and I was like, it's like 23 yards, and I shot at the 10 ring, and I hit just above it. I should have just shot it for 20.
Oh, man.
And I broke my arrow on that one. The other kid that was with me also broke his arrow on that one. He ended up taking second place with a 38, and I scored a 61.
Oh, geez. So you dominated.
It was fun. It was a good scenario where you had to guess the yardage. And I feel like in Idaho growing up, that's what set me up for success. Was we never used rangefinder. You weren't allowed to use a rangefinder.
In any of the competitions?
If it was competition, you're shooting unknown. Most of them didn't even have a known class, a known yardage class. And when we were hunting, my dad and we never shot the known class. We always shot the unknown.
Wow.
And so I think that's what really helped my scenario out is I've been judging yardage for a long time. And when I go and do a 3D, I really want to try to go unknown. If I'm preparing for a hunt, if I'm preparing to go hunting, I want to
do an unknown.
Yeah, I want to do unknown so that I can, hone these skills.
That's hard for me. We did a triple crown out in Colorado, and the first leg was known, the second leg was unknown, and the third leg was again known. And I struggled in that second leg, not because I had no idea. And even the guys in my group, you're not supposed to, you can't talk about it or anything like that. So, but I would kind of watch them and kind of guess the arrow flight when they would shoot before me, and I'm like, okay, but I struggled. Like I'm not good at judging distances. 0 to 40, I'm okay, but once I get past 40, I struggle.
It's you got something you got to practice.
Yeah,
and you got to practice it a lot. As soon as you don't do it for a while, and that's how archery is. You don't shoot for a while, you're gonna have a bad day.
Yeah, I haven't shot for 2 weeks, and I'm feeling nervous.
Yeah, exactly.
It's only been 2
goes
weeks.
fast. Yeah,
it does.
That's how it goes, and so you just got to keep up with it and do that. So. I mean, have your rangefinder, and if you're out in the field, wherever, find a sagebrush and say, hey, how far is that?
Yeah.
26 yards, and then range it and figure it out. And just practice that because you never know how often you're going to be able to pull out your rangefinder when you're hunting. And I guess maybe some people think that's unethical. Maybe they think if you don't range it, that's unethical. But we've been doing it. For a long time,
thousands of years. Back in the day, they didn't range all their animals. So
right, you think how far technology has come, even in the last 15 years, 15 years.
When we were kids, of course, I was a kid a lot long before you were a kid. But when I was a kid, I remember my dad had like this thin, long rangefinder. Like it was like one of the very first ones that came out, and he thought it was the cool, big old bulky thing, and it didn't work worth beans. But it was cool. But if you think that wasn't that. I'm not that old. It wasn't that long ago. Maybe 15, 20 years ago. It's changed a lot.
That's how we were doing it.
Yeah,
we were guessing yardage the whole time.
Yep,
and that's how you were hunting. And so
I don't think it's unethical. No, I think it's hunting.
And if you've done it a lot, you'll be amazed. People get intimidated by guessing yardage, but you'll be amazed at how close you can do it after you do even 2 or 3 of these archery shoots.
Yeah.
Go and do 2 or 3 of these archery shoots in the spring and see how you're doing. By the time you get to June, you're going to be like, holy cow, I'm better than I've ever been before shooting archery, guessing yardage, and I'm more prepared for my hunts than I've ever been.
That's true.
And so
even when I did that second leg of that Triple Crown, even like, so it was 25 targets. And by the time I hit like target 17, 18, I was a whole lot better than even at target 1, you know? So even just that same day, I'd already started to kind of get a judgment of those further distances.
I would say by the end of day 1, you're going to be feeling a lot more confident in yourself when you go and shoot one of those shoots, and you're forced to do it.
Yeah.
Don't give up on it after your first 5 or 10 targets, because it's gonna be a struggle. You're not going to shoot that score that you normally do, knowing the exact yardage. You're going to have some high and low misses, and it's okay. Just you're getting better. You
say it's okay, but I don't know, man. It bothers. I like to be very precise, and so I like. To me, like with my slider sight, you know, 32 and 34, I guess maybe not that much, but like 54 and 56, that's a big difference to me with my slider sight. And so I want to make sure that I'm perfect on that sight. If it's 56, I want to know it's 56, because that, to me, that's, you know, that's enough that's 12 ring or not for me. So
yeah, and with the heavy arrows that people are shooting nowadays, that's exactly it.
Yeah.
It's a big miss if you don't get that rangefinder. And whenever you can, obviously, when you're shooting an animal, definitely hit that animal, range it, make a good shot. Yeah, that's ideal. But you know what? 2 out of the 4 animals I shot last year with my bow, I didn't get to range them. You know, I didn't get to. You know, so luckily they were 4
animals with your bow. You killed so your deer here, your deer out there, your elk here.
So yeah, the deer in Nevada. So the deer in Utah, my elk in Utah. Well, I guess, and I shot at another buck, the one that ended up getting killed by someone else.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, yeah, I got you.
And that's the one I ranged. That one.
I was saying that was one of the ones you ranged.
I ranged him, and he ducked the arrow and got hit.
Let's be honest, you didn't need to range your elk.
So yeah, the elk was close enough. I really didn't need to.
8 yards.
Yeah,
you're all right. Just put one of the pins there.
Right, my Utah buck. I mean, he was 65 yards, and that was the best shot I made. So
did you range that one?
So that one, I had ranged the hill behind him, and he came a lot closer. And it was like 85 yards, and he came a lot closer. So I still had to guess.
Yeah.
I had an idea on that one. But you don't always, you still have to figure that stuff out.
Yeah. And 20 yards at that distance that's a big deal.
Yeah.
That's a huge difference. Yeah. So if you can do that and tell the difference between 85 and 65, yeah, that could be the difference between you bringing home a set of antlers and not.
Right, and it's just doing a couple of those shoots. If someone hasn't shot those shoots, it's going to make you so much more proficient, such a better hunter, and just give you much more confidence going into the field.
Dude, I feel like that. So I've been getting into golf lately. And it's all about confidence. Like archery and golf are so similar. Like if you have confidence, you step up with that club and that ball and you hit it. It's totally different than if you don't have the confidence. Same with a bow. If you can step up and have confidence that, hey, I've done this many times. I've made this exact shot 100 times. It's easy. You know, totally different for you. You perform so differently. Yeah,
that's a perfect analogy, because you have someone that's used the same golf clubs for a long time, and they're golfing and they get used to them and everything else. There's a lot of technology coming out with the bows now, and man, they're nice. But you know what? If you have a bow that you've shot for 5 years, some of those are the best shooters.
Yeah.
And if you look at some of the target shooters, a lot of them are shooting 3- and 4-year-old bows.
Oh, no way.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they've got a bow that just had the right specs, shoots right, and they'll shoot the same bow for a lot of years. And once you get the confidence, it's kind of a lot of people are like, gosh, you got to get the new technology out. You got to get the new greatest
I want to
thing.
just know that it's 5 more, feet per second. I want that 5 more. Yeah.
Yep. And whether it be speed or whatever it is that works for you, the technology is phenomenal in these bows. And it was 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, they're still killing stuff.
I'd say my bow's 2 years old, and actually I don't know that it's that much different than the newer. It's a Matthews, VXR or is it? Yeah. VXR, what's the new one that they just came out with?
The VX3 or the...
They're all been in those same names, so they're screwing with me a little bit.
V3 and then the V3X.
Yeah, that's it. Yep. So, and I've been looking at it. There's really not that much difference, but yeah, it's a little bit faster, or it's a little bit lighter, or
the accessory's a little tighter to the bow.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. So, what's your thoughts on the carbon bows?
They're Awesome. I've looked at them. I shot the RX-7 this year.
Oh, you
from
did?
Hoyt. I shot it.
Oh.
I went in and shot. I went in, was looking.
I haven't shot it. I shot the RX-5. I haven't shot that 7 yet.
Really?
Yeah.
I think they've made some phenomenal differences on the RX-7 that's got me excited.
That's what
They
I hear.
cut the weight. So Hoyt, even though it was carbon, the RX-5s, they were still about as heavy as a lot of the competition aluminum bows.
I was gonna say they're just as heavy as my Matthews over there.
Yeah,
So
yeah. So they were able to cut the weight. They were able to their carbon. They slimmed it way down. Then you can see they've got the new, and they had the RX-5. I think it still had the Picatinny stuff.
the rail,
the
the
accessories and
Picatinny for the mount or
And
for the
what-
sight.
What almost got me, and the reason why I almost picked up the RX-7 was they changed that grip because they had it comes back towards you so much
Yeah.
on that grip, and I just I
Didn't
didn't
that.
like it as much.
Yeah.
And I've been shooting Bowtech. They got a very slim. I love a really slim.
Me too.
Slim grip and flat. Even Bowtech gives you a piece that you can put on there that brings the grip a little bit back towards you. Gives you a little bit sharper angle.
A little bit, yeah.
I shoot the flat one.
Do you really?
I shoot
Yeah.
the very flattest one, and the RX-7, they cut that angle off a lot.
Good.
And man, that RX-7 shoots really, really
I'll
well.
have to go shoot it.
Um,
I'm not buying a new one. I love my bow. I'm sold on my bow. I love that thing. But
and that's what I was getting at. You don't have to have these things to be good, and if you're shooting your old bow good,
yeah,
man, they're getting expensive.
that's another
I
thing.
want to say it was
is-
like $1,800. I
Yeah,
think it was.
yeah.
They're expensive. Man, the PSC, if you're really looking for a light carbon bow, I mean, really what they're for, I think it's almost a pound still that it has the Hoyt RX-7. I think it's 3.6.
really? Is it that much?
I think it's 3.6 pounds bare compared to 4.4 or 4, something like that, I
Yeah.
think is what it is. And
That's
you know
a
what?
lot.
I might be talking because I've got such a long draw. I would have to have the RX,
The Ultra. Yeah.
the RX-7 Ultra, and so when I'm comparing, I don't know what their 30-inch bow was.
But that's what PSC is all about right now. Is they're so much lighter. You know, that's what I think. That's where Dudley went, right? He went to
Speed
Dudley
and-
and
yep.
changed that so that it'd be this light killing machine. I mean, light, but yet be able to pack a punch. I mean, he's got some of those bows that are like 90-pound bows
Yep.
and super light.
Yeah.
So I know everybody's raving about the PSCs right now. I haven't shot. Have you shot the new one?
I haven't. I haven't shot the very newest one. I shot one last year, and I don't know how much they've changed on the PSCs. I haven't been watching them too much. I wasn't too much of a fan of the draw cycle then, but man, I'm seeing a lot more people go to it. I need to check it out and see where they're at now. But I don't shoot a specific. I've been shooting the Bowtechs the last 2 years, and I'm not specific on any one. I love the grip on the Bowtech, and I love the tunability they have on their systems. They're awesome.
That's what I always say. Like so when I went to buy my bow, you know, they're like, okay, so which brand do you normally like? I'm like, guys, I want to shoot whatever fits me. I've been a Hoyt guy my entire life. That's all. Well, yeah, that's all I've owned is Hoyt bows until this Matthews, and I shot everything. I shot the Bowtech. I shot all of them, and that's when I shot the RX-5, and which that was kind of like my number 2. But then I shot this Matthews, and I was like, holy crap! Like I think just like going back to the golf clubs, you find golf clubs that fit you, and they're just made for you. I think the same thing with bows. You find it doesn't matter what the brand is, and it can be next year can be a whole different story. But you find that bow that just fits you, fits good in your hand.
Yep.
You know, it makes all the difference in the world.
That's it. And that's what I think everyone should look at when they're looking at a new bow. Open your mind, and go shoot the most comfortable bow for you and that fits you. I don't think anyone should tell you, oh, you need to buy a Hoyt, you need to buy a Matthews, you need to buy the certain brand. You need to go in and shoot them. Go in and shoot them and see what the best is. And I think a lot of these guys, there's some guys, you look at Dudley, for example, and he shoots PSC and strictly PSC, but you know what? He's setting the bows exactly how he wants them.
Exactly.
And
He's making that bow exactly how he wants it.
Yeah, exactly. And so, and same Cameron Haynes.
Yep.
Shooting Hoyt. He's been shooting Hoyt for a long time, but you know what? If he wants something done on his Hoyt, he goes to Hoyt and says, this is how I want it done, and this is what is going to make it feel the best for me.
Yep.
And they get it done.
Make it.
And they're the best shooters, that you see, or hunters, or
you hear
whatever.
about.
They have the best equipment.
Yep. Yeah.
And so anyone that's getting into archery, go shoot them all, see what feels comfortable to you. Maybe you like a bigger grip. Maybe maybe a draw cycle looks or feels better to you than others. A back wall, maybe, you know, I shot a prime for 5 years, and
you like the prime?
I loved it.
Really?
I loved
that
it.
Was
it
that
was
one and the
heavy.
Elite were my two. Like I'm
Don't even
have you shot an Elite before?
So yeah, I shot my bow last year with an Elite.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Which Elite was it? Do you remember?
It was the Remedy.
Ah, okay.
So
yeah, in fact, when I went into the shop to buy my last bow, that's what I was going at. I was going after the Elite. I was like, oh yeah, they're a little bit cheaper price point.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, that's what I'm going for. And I shot that thing. I was like, take it.
Yep.
I hated the back wall on that thing.
Yeah. Yeah. The prime, it would just fall back, and it would hit it hard. You hit a point and it just boom, boom. But man, I loved that it just
was rock
sat
solid.
there. It was solid.
Yeah.
It was hard to even let forward. And then when I shot the Elite, I was like, I kind of like that too. and you know, it was just, it fit, and you could just rest back there.
See isn't it funny how different people are? I love it.
Yeah. And it worked for me, and for others, it is totally custom. You can do whatever you want in archery and set it up to your.
Yeah, but you're probably a good enough shooter that it probably doesn't matter what bow you could grab my bow and go shoot it well. So
I would say Levi Morgan. You know, he could probably pick up any bow.
He would probably
sponsored by him and still win shoots.
Yeah,
you know, and probably do it with any bow. But you know what? He's going to go to do what is the very best for him and that makes him better. Every point counts when you're talking that. The shooters are getting so good.
Right.
I mean, to see Bodie Turner come out and win
That's
Vegas
crazy.
at 16.
That is crazy.
And, you know,
man,
that kind of proves it right there, and that it's his mental capacity, his ability to just stay in his shot and do what his dad has taught him.
16, to be able to do 16. That? Man, when he's 25,
it'll be phenomenal.
That's going to be scary is what it's going to be because at 16, you can still get in your own head quite a bit, you know. Yeah. At 25, you're finally kind of getting out of that a little bit, and oh man, when he's that age, look out.
Yeah, and that's exactly what his dad has ingrained in him. Wow. To just, you've done this a million times. Yeah, you know, just do the same shot process every
finish
time.
Him.
Finish him. It doesn't matter if you're sitting on the line in Vegas or if you're in your backyard. If you do the same thing every time, over and over, the game of archery is consistency.
Yep.
If you can do the same thing every time, maybe you don't have the perfect form yet, you know, and you're shooting. It's okay. Do the same thing every single time, and you're going to get some results.
Yeah.
And work on your form. Continue to get better, and take lessons if you can find someone, or take Joel Turner's or any of these guys that really are good coaches.
Yeah.
And you can get it done right. The sky's the limit in archery.
When is Vegas? When is that competition?
I think it's in January typically.
January. Okay. And you're going to be shooting it.
I'm really debating on doing it this year.
Do it.
I need to, man. I love archery hunting, but I'm not against picking up a rifle and going hunting.
Yeah.
I still love to pick up tag.
Yeah.
I picked up a tag in Colorado this year, so November I'm going to be gone for a week hunting, and I feel I need to just remember to, once I sight in that rifle and everything else, to make sure I'm picking up that bow and shoot through the year. And if I feel I'm prepared to go and do that for the first time, I will. And I've got to okay it with the wife and go spend the days down there, but I will. I would love to do that.
Yeah. What's the cost to do that? Do you know?
I don't know cost.
What the entry fee is?
I'm not sure on that one. I'm sure they've got a little bit pricier because they've got some better. I mean, when you're winning $50,000
exactly.
in the open class, and there's other classes that have purses as well. So it'll be a little bit of money, but to see where you sit against some of the best would be
the best.
Phenomenal. I mean, and you know the coolest thing about archery is if you go and you sit on, like I said, I was able to shoot with Kyle Douglas. I never talked to him while I was there or anything. Although maybe in your mind they're celebrities, they're everyday people.
Oh yeah,
and they don't act like it.
No, they're just real
when
dudes.
They're on the line.
Yeah,
they're just doing everything, and they'll coach you right there. They'll tell you things that you know what you're doing, or telling you you're doing a great job, or whatever. And these are, you know, the best at what they do.
Yeah, and
they're walking a line along with you in a shoot like Vegas.
That's what we ran into Dudley at TAC, and total dude. You know, I mean, he did kind of have a little bit of hey, I'm pretty cool kind of a thing. But he started, you know, just, hey, do this, try work. Like on this course, we set it up this way. Make sure you kind of move over to the side. And like, Just a total dude.
Watch your bubble. Yeah. Make sure you're
just
keeping your eye on these things. Yeah.
Helping you out with everything. I love that and I think that's one of my favorite things about, for the most part, in the hunting world, as I've talked to all these people on podcasts or expos or stuff, they're just dudes. They're real people. I love it. I don't think golf would be like that. I think that those guys are they're kind of celebrities.
Yeah, they are. And there's a couple. I mean, Cameron Haynes, the publicity he's getting from his book is phenomenal, and what he's doing is really awesome. Being in the MMA world, Joe Rogan's friend, and all these, he's at a different level.
He is
of publicity in the archery world.
Good for him though. I love that he's bringing that much publicity.
It's good for us.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's really good for us because people can see that he is a real person, but he also is a bow hunter.
Exactly.
We're not rednecks out there doing stupid stuff sometimes.
Right. But yeah, exactly. And that's what's cool about it is he's up front. I'm a bow hunter. That's what I do. I'm a bow hunter, and that's that's who I am. That's what I am. And if you ask him what his job is, he does have his 9 to 5, and he has it, but he's a bow hunter. That's his, and obviously that's probably where he's making his more money. He's made it there, and it's awesome. It's totally awesome. And when he reaches out to somebody that's never been into archery or anything
Joe
like
Rogan.
that, like Joe Rogan or others, he can really make a big impact on archery.
Yeah, I love seeing what I know a lot of people hate on him, and I don't get it. I think in our world you shouldn't hate on anybody. There's no reason for it. There's no place for it in this industry. But I think he's awesome. I think what he's doing for the world of bow hunting, for hunting in general, is wonderful. Especially coming from where he comes from too. Come from Oregon, where it's very
right.
Liberal.
Liberal. Yeah.
Exactly. For him to come from there and make that big of an impact in the world. And I'm glad to see his book is taking off. I'm only about halfway through it, but I'm digging it. Yeah.
And I think these people that are on the fence that have never hunted or done anything like that are going to now see that. And it's going to be cool. Yeah. He lives in a demographic of Democrats and stuff, and he's going to be able to have some influence on them, and they're going to say, okay, maybe you're not that bad. You're not that bad of a guy. And everything, especially to see the hard, childhood he had and everything else. He says,
I didn't realize he had such a hard childhood. That was rough, man.
Yeah.
For him to come out of that the way he did, I mean, kudos to him.
Right.
Eesh.
Yeah. It took a lot.
Yeah.
And he deserves all the success he has. When you have someone that works that hard, and there's people that are jealous of it. Yeah. They really are, and it's easy. They think on social media, you see someone on social media, and maybe that is their highlights. Maybe that is stuff that's going on that's good in their world. And he does, when you see him, he is smiling with the bow in his hand, and he's shooting. That's when I'm the happiest too.
Isn't it though?
That's when I'm the happiest too. When I got a bow in my hand and I'm shooting.
Yeah.
And doing that. And that's what we see mostly.
Yeah.
You don't know what's going on in someone else's world, and
it's not all sunshine and rainbows. Everybody has something going on in their life that's hard, but
and it may look like his life's perfect and everything, and I'm sure it's good now. But I mean, if you read his book, he's had some heartache. He's had some serious heartache.
Yeah.
Whether it be family life or friends or whatever it is, but we all go through that. We all have death in our lives, and we all have things that go on, and it's the way we react to those scenarios, how you respond to those scenarios that do that.
Yep, absolutely. Well, and finding things in your life that make you happy too. That's why I love hunting, because no matter what junk is going on in life, there's always a couple things in my life that I can find that really bring happiness. Church, obviously, family, obviously, but like you said, when I've got a bow in my hand, I'm shooting my bow in the backyard or actually hunting.
Oh yeah.
You can't find a happier person on earth.
You find a tag, you get a tag in your pocket, and all of a sudden you're getting excitement for that hunt or whatever it is.
So what tags do you have this? So you have your limited entry tag this year.
So
you have your
I
Colorado
got
third season
third
tag,
season
right?
rifle tag. Yeah. I also drew a general tag for Montana elk.
Really?
So I've
what
got
are the dates on that?
I think it's September 3rd through like the middle of October. You can hunt with a bow,
wow.
And then you can go back in at the end of October into November and hunt with a rifle.
Oh,
so with as much time, I didn't, when I put in for that, I didn't expect the limited entry tag, and so I'm putting a lot of my resources and and the money I have, into my budget, into the limited entry hunt that I have. And so I don't know how much time I'm going to be able to spend on that. They took your points anyways. I could get a little bit of a refund, but I'm kind of still hoping to get out.
Yeah.
Where it's an archery and a rifle.
Yeah. That much time, you should be able to at least get out a couple weekends and spend some time up there.
Yep, I've got an over-the-counter archery tag still. I hunted a little bit in January this year in Arizona.
Yeah, in Arizona.
Yeah, the deer tag. I took some friends down there, and we had a good time in January.
Nice.
I still got that tag, and where they went to quotas, I'm not going to be able to hunt in August, in September, but they've got some hunts at the end of December.
Yeah.
As long as the quotas, they got. Have you seen their quota system now?
Mm-hmm.
So,
what do you think about that new quota system?
It allows people to get out and hunt still.
It does.
It's got its pros and cons.
Yeah.
With everything.
I guess I do I really hadn't really thought much about that side of it. Like, it does get more people the opportunity to get out and hunt, especially for people that don't have a tag.
Right.
But I don't know. I wonder how fast that quota is going to be met. Yeah. And, if there still will be able to be, hunting in December like there always has been.
And I might not even get the opportunity to go back out on this hunt. And I think we'll see how it goes. But I like it in the sense that now it's not all draw. Yeah. Because I think the other talk, if it wasn't quota, was send it all to a draw.
Oh, I don't want that
and
either.
So yeah, I look at it and go, okay, something has to happen. They can't keep killing as many deer on the landscape as they've been doing. They got to cut back somehow. And I don't know. I guess I try to look at the positive of everything. If the hunt I have is gone and I can't go hunt the units I know, maybe it's an opportunity to go spread my wings and go find another unit to hunt.
Yeah, that's true.
And go have an adventure with friends somewhere else and see.
Just
I've never hunted Coues deer.
See, I was thinking about that. I was going to ask, have you ever hunted Coues deer? Little ghosts.
I did go down by Tucson and hunted a little bit, and then I found a really wide. He was a willowy buck. 3x4, a little bit broken, chasing does, but he was 30 inches wide, and I ended up chasing him for a day or two, and I didn't get back up after Coues deer. So I've never hunted. I was in Coues deer country, and I could have hunted Coues deer. I never actually glassed a Coues deer or actually stalked on a Coues deer ever.
So we've actually talked about doing that. We're going to do it this year. And instead of doing because we do the Colorado third season, which we didn't get our tag this year, but instead of doing that, we were thought about going down and doing some Coues deer hunting. Russ has done it before, and he's like, dude, it's so fun to go down there. I've never really thought that they'd be that. I'd like to, kind of like the antelope. I want to shoot one, but there's not a lot of antler there. There's not a lot of meat there, but
they're about the size of a dog. From what I understand.
There was one at the expo. Did you see the one at the expo right by the phone scope booth?
I don't know that I saw that one. I think I did see some, but
it's just itty bitty little things. I mean, they're just itty bitty,
man.
So,
but the pack out's nice.
That's true. That is true.
You could shoot a giant Coues deer and still have a nice, easy pack out.
That's true.
No,
and the weather's nice with the Colorado.
It would still be fun to go do.
Yeah.
With this Northern Arizona stuff though, and putting in for points, that's what I opt to do.
Yeah.
I would love to go do it sometime, and maybe after I get my archery kaibab and I go back to 0 point or 2 points.
Yeah.
I'll throw and go do one of those. But yeah, this is close to home.
Yeah.
I mean, this is almost not far away. Northern Arizona for us. I put in for those, and there's not any Coues deer up in this above the canyon.
No, you got to go down there quite a ways to get those, but it'd be fun.
That's why it would be fun to go do, and I'll do it eventually, or at least go try it on the over the counter stuff.
Yeah.
Sure. There's no reason why not to just take a little longer drive. And if the quota's met, I still tend to hunt. I hunt south of the Grand Canyon, but a little further north than where most of the Coues deer are. But if those get met, maybe that's a perfect opportunity to run south and go do that. So try to look at the positive. Maybe I can go shoot a Coues deer.
Oh man, you got a lot of tags in your pocket this year though. That's good. That's a good feeling. I've only got, so I'm going to Alaska to do the caribou and blacktail hunt, and then I've got my Utah general tag. That's all I've got this year.
Yeah.
Well, and I'll probably, like I was talking to you at church the other day, was I'll probably do the open bull here.
Yeah.
I mean, why not?
Yeah. We've chased a couple good bulls the last couple years on there. I mean, and if you're going to have your limited entry tag coming up, I know you're probably going to hunt with a rifle. You got enough points.
Where I'm at this many points, I might as well hunt with a rifle.
Yeah, you need to give your best opportunity to kill.
It's right in the middle of the rut usually too. So
yeah, you got to do that. Who knows how long that'll last? Maybe that'll change. You never know what could change. But I like the open bull for getting us ready for these types of hunts, for this hunt. I've been hunting that open bull for the last 4 years.
Wow.
Hard. Filled 3 tags the last 4 years, which is, again, going back to knowing your backyard.
Yeah.
The open bull in Utah is extremely difficult. In fact, for non-residents, I wouldn't recommend it.
No.
I would say there's so much better opportunity in
Go to Colorado. Yeah, go to Colorado. There's so much more opportunity there.
And we're not driving people away. It's the animals and what there is here. It just doesn't compare.
There's just not the numbers of animals here versus out there. So your odds are so much better out there.
Right.
But like you said, know your backyard. If you know your backyard, you can find them. Right. Like you said, you filled through the last 4 years. So.
And we've done it. And those are my tags. Mm-hmm. My brothers have, a couple of my brothers have drawn the youth. It's on the open bull units, but it's the youth tag that they can hunt in September with a rifle. Yeah. We killed a couple bulls on that, on these units. That's pretty tough. Mm-hmm. And then helped a buddy of mine, or actually my cousin, he killed a 308 bull on there. Yeah. He killed a 308 bull with his bow.
That's amazing.
It was a pretty 6-point bull.
I think you've shown me pictures of that one.
Yeah. He was an awesome bull to be able to kill on an over-the-counter tag in Utah. And you go and you hunt these hard units. All of a sudden, I'm going to this limited entry unit, and I'm seeing elk everywhere. I'm like, oh, this is awesome.
This is how elk hunting is supposed to be. Okay.
yeah, this is cool. And they say numbers are down, and they are. They are. But, it's a better opportunity than I've had for the last little while, and I feel like
it's still a limited entry unit. They're still good quality. It may not be San Juan. Or something like that. But all limited entry units still have good quality. It just takes a little bit of time.
I can hunt for that wall hanger per se if you want, and there's nothing wrong with that. We can go and hunt for a bull that I typically wouldn't be able to this year, and I'm excited to do that on the limited entry.
I'm excited for you too. I'm excited to see what you get, and I'll try to help out as much as I can with you out there.
I'd love to have you up there. It'd be a lot of fun.
I've got let's see, what are the dates on that again?
August 20th. It starts.
20. Oh, that's right, 20th.
Yeah, and I think it goes to the 17th of September.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, in there.
I should be able to. I mean, if you need spotting, I could definitely come out and spot.
Yeah.
Quite a bit. So I'll be out there anyways for Seth and his antelope. I'm hoping we get that. That should be cake.
Yeah.
With what we have, especially if you got another spot for us to go after. So I'm not worried about that one, but I'll be out there anyways.
Yeah.
To help out. But
man, it's you scour a unit on your limited entry and just give it the best you could. And in the end, if I end up with a 320, 330 bull, that's still bigger than anything I've killed.
I was going to say, put them on the wall, please.
Yeah.
If you shoot a 330 bull, please put them on the wall.
I would.
That's why. So that's what Jed's like. If he's not 370 above, I'm not putting him on the wall. I'm like, so you're telling me you shoot a 360 bull, you're not going to shoulder mount him and put him on the wall? Nope. He'll be a European mount.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
No.
Oh, we were out there and my uncle had this tag 2 years ago, and he shot a great bull at 360. Great bull, and he's getting it mounted. We were chasing a bigger bull. I mean, pushing 400-inch bull, and we ended up. Crazy story. I can tell you. It's this kid came in and he started to put pressure on a number 2 bull, and we're like, and he was very easy to find. Did the same thing almost every day. Bedded almost in the same places, and I've never seen.
Killed.
he was like a mule deer. Typically, you can pattern a mule deer and do stuff like that. With elk, it's a little bit more difficult. This thing was just like hunting a mule deer. Wow. He was. We could find him on the same hillside all the time, and he was a great bull, 360. But we had this bull that was on camera and everything else, and he's pushing 400. You don't get him on 400-inch bulls.
Yeah, no, you got to go after that.
And so we got to
at least try.
Well, then this kid started putting pressure on this 360 bull. We're like, maybe, and we hadn't seen the other one show up for a little bit. And it's like, maybe it's time we go ahead. He got up there, knew exactly where he needed to be. That bull came in, and he shot him at like 25 yards.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
beautiful.
Killed him. Great bull.
Can't complain about that.
He's getting mounted. Well, then we start helping this kid.
Yeah.
We started putting pressure on this bull, and we're like, hey, there's a bigger bull.
Yeah.
Start hunting. He's coming in here doing this. He ended up killing him.
Oh, he did?
He killed him. Yeah, he ended up. He says, in fact, the story I got from, I wasn't in camp at the time. He says, we were sending him up to the tree stand where we were seeing this bull at. And he got up there late. It's a spot that's pretty known. And there was a deer hunter that beat him in there because the deer hunt's going on at the same time.
Right.
Deer hunter beat him up in there on the water hole. And so he went back to his truck, jumped in his truck going down the road. That bull ran across the road in front of him.
No way.
Into a big flat. It ran into this big sagebrush flat, and there was a row of trees going down through the bottom. It was going down this hill. He ran into those trees, ran down the tree line, got in front of that bull, and that bull came at like 37 yards.
Oh my god!
And he smoked that big 400-inch bull. And the reason why I brought that up is he Europeaned him.
He did?
European mounted that bull.
400-inch bull?
He says his wife said no, he's not going in the house. So he Europeaned him and put him in the garage.
I was like, honey, you don't understand here. Yeah. Wow, really?
Yeah, he's a very pretty bull. I'll have to get you pictures of him.
Yeah.
He's a really big bull. I don't know if he quite broke 400, but he's a big 6x7 bull. All of his points are long main beams, main beams.
When I say 400 bull, if you're 390, you're a 400 bull.
Yeah.
If I shot a 390, I'd tell everybody it was a 400 bull.
Yeah,
so.
he's big.
Wow, big. And you rode it.
So he rode him. So
that makes me like, that's almost unethical in my mind. Like that, you don't do that.
Me too. No, if I shoot a 320, 330 bull, I'll put him up and mount him, and it's still the biggest bull of my. And those, they don't come every day.
No, and a lot of it, you don't mount it for. At least I don't. I don't mount anything for the score. I don't write a score on my antler saying, "Hey, this is what it scored." It's more about the experience.
Yeah, this is the limited entry I had in Utah. And got to do it, and we hunted hard. Yep. And it could be whatever the story is.
Yep, exactly.
You remember the people that were there and the pack outs and all
feelings
that stuff.
That come along with it. I mean,
that's what it's about.
It is. It's special.
So,
well, dude, we better wrap this up. What time is it?
So I don't know that I ever even told you the story. I don't even think I told you the Boulder story. We were going to tell you my first limit entry, but maybe we can do that another time.
I was going to say, if you're down, we need to do this more often. Well, while we've been talking, let's wrap this up, and I want to talk to you a little bit, okay?
Okay.
Is that cool? So anyways, guys, appreciate you listening to the podcast. Hope you like this format. This has been a lot of fun, chatting, visiting, talking stories. Yeah.
This is fun.
Yeah, so can't go wrong. Anyways, we'll see you guys on the next one.
Appreciate you having me.
Yep, no problem, man.